All right, welcome back to this week's episode of the Rock Solid Sports Podcast. Today is Tuesday, February 4th, and we may have just seen the weirdest trade in NBA history.
Yeah, not only the weirdest trade, but probably the biggest trade in NBA history.
Yes.
Definitely a head scratcher, but it's probably one of the biggest trades, maybe in sports history generally. Like, it's up there with like the
maybe world history.
the Ruth to the Yankees trade. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, we weren't going to have an episode, but we said if there was any big news that happened, and then we kind of got a couple of requests saying that, well, we need one this week. So Here we are. We'll get into it after the intro, and yeah, let's do it.
We gonna make it, baby.
All right, welcome back to this emergency episode of the Rock Solid Sports Podcast. We are brought to you by Sluv, as always. Go check them out on their website at sluv.us, that is sluv.us, or on their Instagram at sluv.co, that is sluv.co. Be on the lookout for new drops coming soon. Hopefully sooner than later if you're listening, boys. But, yes, we are here today to talk about the trade that happened Saturday night. Of course, that girl getting sent to the Indiana Fever. No, I'm just kidding. Biggest trade that happened over the weekend. No, there's been two big trades in the NBA, one being maybe the biggest trade in NBA history. I guess first, to give a little more suspense, we'll talk about the De'Aaron Fox one to San Antonio first. I don't have the details in front of me, but De'Aaron Fox gets sent to the San Antonio Spurs in a 3-team deal. Zach Lavine gets traded to Sacramento Kings for essentially the Bulls getting nothing. I know we have a few fans that are that listen that are Bulls fans as well, so I know they were a little upset to see that Zach Lavine.
Do you want the full trade details?
Yeah, give it to us.
Oh my! Who clicked an ad? That's on me. It is Spurs get De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. Kings get Zach Lavine, City Kisoko. My fault if I butchered that. 3 first-round picks. 3 second-round picks. The Bulls get Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and their own 2025 pick back from the Spurs.
Yes, they got their pick back from the Spurs. That is for this year. So the tank is officially on for the Chicago Bulls to go try to get Cooper Flagg or anybody, I guess, in this draft. There's a good top 5, which we'll look into, obviously, when we get closer to that. But, yeah, we'll start there. The Bulls got cucked, essentially, to me. I think they got off Zach Lavine's contract, so I know ultimately that's what they wanted to do. But not getting any picks back besides your own for Zach Lavine, who's a 2-time All-Star, is crazy.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, like, even with the other trades that have gone on, you could at least see some light in that tunnel of just, like, an idea of what you want. But I think you're, like, on the nose with the rebuild. I mean, when you're trading away kind of like a guy who, has been your guy for a while, that kind of just signifies that you know you can't really win right now, and you kind of just want to kick back. Maybe, like you said, get Cooper Flagg and try to just, like, get something going and try to do what maybe the Spurs have done with Wemby and kind of get a little spark behind something. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Bulls play out. But I think that the tanking is probably en route.
Any thoughts on the Bulls? We'll go team by team for this, but any thoughts on the Bulls initially?
No, I mean, I think you nailed it. Capture the flag, baby.
Capture the flag.
The Bulls flag jersey would go crazy. But
that would sell crazy.
Yeah, super insane. No, I mean, you nailed it. They kind of they've given up. That's what they just said.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it shows. Like, all right, let's just get what we can.
They still have a couple other guys that could be serviceable for other teams, too, like Nikola Vucevic. I know teams have been saying they're interested in him. I don't know who.
Someone,
to be honest with you, but somebody.
The Lakers probably.
Yeah, the Lakers are interested in everybody, but excuse me. But, I mean, there's still a couple guys on that team. Patrick Williams, he's not very good, but he might be getting sent out. Vucevic, I think the only ones they really want to keep is Io, Kobe White maybe, and then I don't even know. Maybe they're. Oh, I know they want to keep their pick. Maybe Lonzo Ball, and then their pick that they drafted in the first round. That's really good on their team right now. I forget his name, but some foreign dude that's from Chicago. So apparently, really weird. But his name is crazy. He's a hooper though. All right, we'll go to the Kings. Are we going to try Zach Lavine and DeMar DeRozan just on another team in a harder conference?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Does that make sense? The Pacers, real quick, essentially 2 years ago, the Kings traded they traded Tyrese Halliburton for Domantas Sabonis and to pair up with De'Aaron Fox, and then they just traded away De'Aaron Fox 2 years later.
Yep.
What the hell are we doing, man?
I don't know.
Why are they all getting traded to the West? The West.
Yeah, I don't. It makes no
Send
sense.
Zach Lavine back.
Maybe the NBA is running a coup to try to like just take down the Celtics and just like
From the other side?
They want to elevate the
Yeah, I
Celtics.
know.
They need to take them out from over there.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, let's talk about the Kings real quick. They get Zach Lavine back in that deal. Obviously losing De'Aaron Fox, but you get a 25-point per game scorer, 2-time All-Star Zach Lavine.
Yeah.
Not a bad addition, but like we've already seen this in Chicago. What's different about this maybe to you, or is it the same?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think much is going to change. I don't know. I think De'Aaron Fox going to the Spurs is pretty significant, but I don't see too much happening with the Kings, to be honest with you. They're a solid team. They're very frisky, in my opinion, but like they've kind of been that way for the past like 2 years, where they make a solid run, they do decent, and then if they make it to the playoffs, they do decent. So it's kind of just it's interesting to watch them play ball, light the beam. You know what I'm saying? But it's just I don't think there's too much ceiling there. I think they're kind of at where they're at, and I don't think any acquisitions going on right now are going to change that. And maybe that's a reason for getting rid of Fox, in a way of just like trying to like shake the mold up a little bit, because they know that like they've kind of met their ceiling.
And they did get three first-round picks back too,
Yeah.
and 2 seconds or something.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean
So
that's a great
my-
return.
yeah, it just might
3
be-
and 3.
Oh,
3
3
first and 3 seconds.
Yeah, so that's kind of just like a shake of the mold, like just being like, I like what we're doing, but we've met as high as we can go, and I think now it's just let's shake it up, try to get something different going on here, keep the good, mojo and aura of the team, and should move it forward with some picks and stuff like that.
Thoughts on the Kings?
I mean, their starting 5 now is Malik Monk, Zach Lavine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis. I don't know. I feel like they took a huge step back.
I think there's a clear floor and a clear ceiling there.
Yeah.
Like the floor is not, you're not tanking, but you're just in the middle of the pack.
You're just going to either a playoff team for
Play-in
sure.
team. Play-in team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, maybe they do what they did a couple years ago, win a couple series. But I mean, like I said, they lost. I don't feel like they won this trade by any means.
But
Like,
they do get the 3 first-rounders and 3 seconds.
That's
is
true.
huge.
I mean, yeah, maybe long term they win the trade, but for now, no.
I
But
think,
yeah, like,
long term they might.
they might for sure. 3, yeah, I mean 6 picks.
But those 3 first-rounders are also now coming from the Spurs, who, I mean, if we're looking at Wemby right now, those teams are going to be
One's
decent.
a Hornets. This year, 2025 is a Hornets, 2027 is the Spurs, and 2031 is a Minnesota, which, I mean, Hornets is probably your best bet there. Who knows what Minnesota does in 2031, but
I hope they're poop.
yeah, we can hope, but who knows?
The
It's in
NBA
6
draft
years.
is one of the most out of this world drafts, I think, in any sport. Like, it's just like you just got 3 picks from one team, and like all of those picks are from other teams.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
it just swaps, and then it's the only draft where you get drafted by somebody knowing that's not where you're gonna go,
Yeah.
and you immediately go somewhere else.
They give you the hat up on the stage, and the second you walk back there, they're like, all right, well, we're gonna need that hat back. Here's your 3rd hat of the night.
Yeah.
We need you to post for us.
I think that is weird though. Like I get like the trades and stuff, but like we don't need the team that you're getting traded from to be announced. Like that, I genuinely think makes no sense.
Like,
but
we don't need to know anymore. It
doesn't.
It's happened.
You will never step foot in that city unless you're playing against them.
I guess unless it's a trade like on draft night, but other than that, like if
Even
you
then
know
still,
who's
it's like the
pick.
NFL says it. They're just like, this
Yeah.
was their pick, but
And
it's
the
been
NFL does
traded
it so
to-
much better if they change like the graphics on the screen.
That's what I'm saying.
The
Like,
NBA, it's like you don't know whose graphic you're.
yeah, it'd be getting crazy.
Like, you never know. But yeah, I guess the team that I guess everybody wants to talk about in this trade being the San Antonio Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
You get a guy like De'Aaron Fox, which is essentially I don't want to compare him to Chris Paul, like a younger Chris Paul, but he's a point guard that can score, and he can play more minutes than Chris Paul can now, and he can produce more. You pair him up with a guy that's doing stuff that's out of this world right now, and Victor Wembanyama, and he's going to be out of this world for the next God knows how many years if he stays healthy. Obviously, first trade reaction, you're like, it's a great move.
Yeah.
And I besides losing those picks, which I think they still have like 5 first-rounders to give up or something like that, something crazy. Maybe not that many. I think they had 7 to begin with, so maybe they have 4 now. But like they just have such a bright future now with De'Aaron Fox. I don't know how young he is, but he's probably like in the 27 25-year-old range, 26 around there, and you team him up with a guy like Wemby. I mean,
Yeah.
that's going to be special for years to come.
No, yeah, most definitely. I think it's just one of those things where
Nailed it.
the Spurs drafted Wemby, and I think everybody knew that he was going to be insane, but I think he's almost exceeded what people thought.
It's just like fast tracked, I guess.
Exactly. Like he immediately became what a lot of people thought he was going to eventually become, and I think the Spurs saw that, and instead of being like, oh, we can kind of build slow, they're like, no, let's go out and get people. Let's try to build a team around this guy and try to make a push soon. And I think that's their whole game plan, and I think it's going to work pretty well for him because Wemby is absolutely insane. I think you tweeted it like a week or two ago where you're like, thank God Jokic did all he did before Wemby got in the league because this guy's a problem, and that's true. And even going into the draft, I don't keep up with too much about guys before they like get into the league and whatnot, but I remember seeing Wemby, I'll be like, he's pretty good. I mean, but we'll see how he does. Like, I'm not sure. And then he's literally probably going to be like the best player in the NBA very shortly here soon. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch his rise, and especially if the Spurs are very into building something around him, especially while you still got Popovich coaching the team. Like
Not right now.
Not right
He's
now.
been out, but yeah, he hopefully will be back soon.
But yeah, I mean, he's at least got a couple more. Hopefully, has a couple more years coaching that team.
If not, whoever succeeds him.
Yeah.
If they've been there for more than a year.
No, yeah,
I have a feeling.
yeah.
I think it might be Chris Paul.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Smooth transition.
Just retires and then boom, you're the next
Chris
head
Paul
coach.
as a head coach is so funny.
Chris Paul would be
Because he's so short.
yeah. He's trying to yell at Wemby and he's like yelling at like the stars.
But then you look at him and you think, well, it is Chris Paul. So
You know, it's so ironic is he's like probably like
God.
4 inches taller than all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm talking about he's yelling at Wemby. If I had to talk to Chris Paul, I'd be looking at the same direction.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, basketball is the biggest mind freak ever. Like, you watch these games and you're like, look at Luka, and he's like, he's what? That guy's like 6'6", 6'7".
Chris Paul
6'7". I had to work that out.
that like video of LeBron like 2 weeks ago saying what's up to all the Eagles players, and like you see AJ Brown, who's a monster on the NFL field, and he looks like a toddler compared to
like
LeBron
even LeBron
James.
James on the floor looks like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, he just
like,
looks like pretty average.
Yeah,
6'7".
6'7".
He is.
But yeah, no, like Luka looks tiny, Steph looks tiny. Steph's like 6'2". It's like he's just one of the smallest guys out there, and he's literally taller. He's as taller than all of us. So.
Yeah.
by a significant amount.
Yeah.
He's got 2 inches on me. So
Yeah. So, any thoughts on the Spurs? I mean, the fact that they were able to keep Stephon Castle, who was huge in that UConn run last year and the year before that, they were able to keep him. They're able to keep Devin Vassell. They're able to keep pretty much everybody besides they got rid of what? Who's the guy who got? I can't even pronounce his name. The guy's name.
City Kisoko.
Yeah, Kasoko. Yeah, they traded him, but like other than that, they got to keep all the core pieces that I don't know how the Kings didn't or the Bulls in this cuck trade that they were in couldn't even try to go get one of them. Yeah, I think the future is bright, and then having De'Aaron Fox, you can bring Chris Paul off the bench now. That's a bench leader right there. Your thoughts on the Spurs before we move on to the big trade?
I mean, they won that trade for surely. This was the Spurs trade. They absolutely won it. I mean, you get De'Aaron Fox, like you just said, to take over Chris Paul. He also gets to sit under, or not under, but like learn from Chris Paul for whatever time he has left there. They keep, like you said, they killed that. They did what they needed to do for show, and they're definitely going to be a problem. I don't know about this year. Probably. I bet they make the playoffs. But I think it takes next year for sure.
Oh, next year.
It's gonna be scary.
The route is on.
Yeah, it's gonna be scary.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think Wemby's gonna win Defensive Player of the Year already this year. I think
And
he's
next year,
I think
the
he's
year
an
after
all-star
that.
this year. Like he,
Next Tim Duncan.
Yeah, just
dude,
give him.
he's a monster.
He is.
All right, all for the trade everybody wants to hear about. Dallas Mavericks traded guard Quentin Grimes to the Philadelphia 76ers for Caleb Martin today.
Jalen Hood-Schifino is a jazz.
Yeah, I think this trade went a little under the radar because it was today while like everybody was at
I
work.
did see that and I was like, damn.
So like I don't know if even you guys saw it, but I'll give my thoughts real quick.
Who was it?
Caleb Martin, one of the Martin twins, got traded from the Sixers to the Dallas Mavericks for Quentin Grimes, which ironically these two teams are playing against each other as we speak. And they got traded while they were in the same building together, so that was kind of funny.
Easy transition.
Just walk across the street. Hey.
But just a little insight on this trade for anybody. Philadelphia also received a second-round pick. So the Dallas Mavericks, essentially, Nico Harrison, the GM of the Dallas Mavericks, which we'll talk about later as well, he's a complete fucking dunce. I just want to say that on the record. he is maybe the biggest idiot I've ever seen in sports. Like, he might go down as the worst GM besides, like, Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
And they just happen to reside probably 10 minutes away from each other house-wise. He sent a guy that's shooting 39% from three that is 25 years old to the Philadelphia 76ers with a second-round pick for a guy that they just brought in who's averaging less points, is 6 years older than him or 5 years older than him. I think he's 29 or 30, and is shooting 37% from three. If I was a Dallas Mavericks fan right now, we'll talk about that in a second. But if I was a Dallas Mavericks fan, I'd just be mad at this move initially.
Yeah.
If this move happened first, I'd be more mad. Maybe are they just trying to get, is this clearing up cap space? I don't know their exact contracts. There's rumors about Kevin Durant. Maybe the Dallas Mavericks wanting to get him, which as we speak right now, there's trade talks of Kevin Durant might be getting traded. So I'm keeping updated for you guys. By the time this comes out, it will be totally irrelevant because everything would have already happened. But yeah, this trade happened kind of in the middle of today. No one really cared. But yeah, just Nico Harrison's an idiot, which we'll talk about. But just a little insight on that trade.
Mm-hmm.
Now for the news everybody wanted to hear. Michael Jordan's son got arrested today for possession of cocaine and a DUI.
It's like
Solid.
an hour. Like, I was at work, and it was like an hour ago, and I was like, damn, bro, I was waking up, and you were going to jail.
This is going to be a very short episode, so I'm trying to keep everybody on their heels. Yeah, any thoughts on Michael Jordan's son getting arrested for possession of cocaine and DUI?
Just like his daddy.
Except just not a
Just not
basketball
Michael
player.
Jordan.
Did you guys see the video just dropped like an hour ago from TMZ, and they on the video he's like, I'm Marcus Jordan, I'm Michael Jordan's son, and the cop's like, all right, well, you're drunk.
You're not Michael Jordan.
His car was parked on a train track.
Nice,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
He was like, yeah, I just took a wrong turn. I'm just trying to get home. It's like, clearly you can see that I'm not impaired. And the cop's like, okay, buddy. Yeah, sure. Yeah, he got sent to jail. So
Yeah.
Happens.
in other news, sad news, serious news, Tiger Woods' mom passed away.
Yeah.
That was sad.
That was very sad news. I hope Tiger can pull out a huge win this year. That'd be huge, dedicated to the mom.
No, yeah.
I don't know if there's a tournament near Mother's Day. There probably is. But if there is, Tiger Woods' future.
No, yeah, that'd be really cool to see. Yeah, that was really sad to see today. It was weird though. I found out about it from Donald Trump's Twitter.
Yeah.
That's how
A lot
I
of
figured
people.
out about it.
I think Dave Portnoy said he found out the same way.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just, but it is super sad, especially since like literally last week he was just said she was at the TGL and he was talking to her and saying like, "Oh, I'm not gonna suck this time, Mom." Like, we were just talking about it. So it's really
literally last episode.
Yep. So it's really, really sad to see. I think from his documentary and all that, his mom was a big, huge part of his life. So shout out to the Woods family. Thoughts and prayers with you.
Mhm.
Any other sports news we want to get to before inevitably we talk about it? I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that happened.
So.
Oh, yeah, real quick. Huge week for sports. We kind of talked about it in the group chat. NBA trade deadline. What's today? Is today the 4th or the 5th?
Today's the 4th.
So trade deadline will be happening the day that this comes out on Thursday, February 6th. Waste Management Open starting Thursday, finishing Sunday in Arizona. Super Bowl. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Forget about that.
The Super Bowl is happening this Sunday. And then there's a couple teams as early as Sunday and Monday that pitchers and catchers are reporting to spring training.
Yep.
What a week for sports fans.
Yeah.
If you're not a sports fan, there's really zero reason for you to be listening to this unless you like us. I appreciate it. But
Hey.
yeah, but you might be bored if you're not a sports fan right now.
Yeah.
But if you are, this is huge. And there was like that one, the Grammys were like the other day. So if you're not a sports fan, there's that.
Yeah, Chris Stapleton got absolutely.
Oh, okay.
hosed.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, we need to talk about that. As a person who's been avidly listening to country music for the last 2 years, I'm not going to say I'm a professional and I should have an opinion on this. Zero way in hell Beyonce should have won that award for Best Country Album of the Year. Zero way.
No, I've always agreed, and it was the same kind of thing with like Shabuzi, where it's
Oh,
like,
brother, don't even get me started on
it's
Shaboozey.
one of those things where it's like, the songs on Cowboy Carter are good. Like, they're not bad songs. They're
This
really
ain't
solid.
Texas.
Yeah, no, like she has some really good songs on there. Same with Shabuzi. I love like almost all of his songs, but when you really boil it down and you compare their style of music to like Chris Stapleton's or like
Lainey Wilson's.
Cody Johnson, Lainey Wilson, like there's a stark difference between actual country music and singing or rapping with like a twang in your voice, which I feel like was a big part of why they got put in that. I don't know. I just think Chris Stapleton got gypped. I think Lainey Wilson got gypped. I think Cody Johnson, I think he was in there. I think he got gypped. I don't know. I think it was just kind of like a miscarriage of justice a little bit. And like the only reason why Beyonce won that was because her name was Beyonce and she put out a country album.
Any thoughts?
No, I think she deserved it. I disagree with everything you just said. Actually,
Isn't it crazy that Kendrick Lamar won like best? He won I think he won the most Grammys this year.
he won 4.
All for a fucking diss track.
Yeah, he had the whole entire stadium.
He had Taylor Swift screaming A minor.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. Yeah, by the way, I a lot of people shit on her. I do think it's hilarious when she goes to award shows, she just gets trashed.
Yeah.
And like it clearly shows. She does not give a shit, which I wouldn't either. I mean,
she's Taylor fucking Swift.
Yeah,
she wants.
Is she a billionaire? Like, do we know that?
Close enough.
It's gotta be close.
Close enough. Yeah, I mean, her jet. She probably sell her jet for close to $1 billion or whatever.
See, well, here's the thing. That makes you a billionaire. If you have $1 billion in assets,
yeah.
she's definitely a billionaire.
Yeah,
Net worth, finance, budgeting, words.
House.
Words.
Her words in themselves are worth millions. So.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, no, but like I do think it's hilarious that she just goes to like she gets a lot of shit, and trust me, the Travis Kelce, all this shit is warranted to an extent. But I do low key think she's kind of funny, just showing up to award shows to get housed.
Did you see the question for him today?
Yeah, that was great. Did you see that?
What?
Do you love? It said, "Do you love Taylor Swift more, or the phantom roughing the passer calls you get?" And he lost his fucking mind.
He said, "All right, next person. Anybody else? Anybody else?" I will say the Super Bowl week, the media Super Bowl week is genius. Whoever let Jameis Winston get a mic,
genius,
massive raise.
Yep.
Whoever decided it's a week long, you can just let anybody in there to interview people. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I remember years ago when Dave Portnoy used to get into these things, and it was a terrible idea. I wish they would let the Barstool guys in there now because it'd be.
They could send some undercover folk, but
they should.
It'd be hard.
They should send me.
You have to edit a mic in or something.
I'll do it. I'll take one for the team just to go to the Super Bowl. Next, I was thinking about this. Super Bowl tickets have really went down significantly in price. I remember like 2-3 years ago, there used to be like $25,000, like get in price.
Yeah.
You can get in for $3,000 this year.
Yeah.
I don't want to necessarily go to the Super Bowl. I want to be there the whole week before the Super Bowl.
No, yeah.
I think that would be fun next year in San Francisco, which is technically like Santa Clara. I think we should look into it just to go the week before. Not even stay there to watch the Super Bowl. Just go hang out and go to bars and
see the festivities.
Maybe run into a few people.
Yeah.
I want to run into John Gruden.
Yeah, I do too.
So
I feel like literally.
Let me see your 3-point stance.
I feel like that's one. Like, there's a bunch of celebrities where I'm like, if I met them in person, I'd be like, whatever. Like, I wouldn't want to talk to them because it'd be kind of like a pointless conversation. Like, we have nothing in common. But I feel like if anybody ran into John Gruden and they cared enough to ask him about football, he would sit there for an hour and talk to you about football. Like
about everything about football.
He would literally just sit there and talk to you, and like you could literally start the conversation. I don't think you'd get a word in for an hour.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be so sick. Like, I would sit and listen to John Gruden for an entire day.
Oh yeah, professional coach, Super Bowl winning coach.
Yeah.
Did he win a Super Bowl?
I'm about to say, I'm pretty sure he won a Super Bowl.
I think he won one with Tampa.
I think he won one with Tampa. If he didn't win it, he might have. He went.
Yeah, he definitely went. I think he beat the Ravens.
Let me fact check myself.
I love John Gruden.
I love him too.
If there's like realistically like one person that I would love to be on this podcast that we'll never be able to probably get, it would be John Gruden.
Yeah,
he would just lead the conversation like you said for an hour.
The only way we could get John Gruden on this podcast is if he was walking down the street of Castle Rock and we were like, "Hey, we're about to shoot our podcast. Do you want to come in and talk ball for a second?" And he'd be like, "Yeah,
football."
And then we would just give him the mic. And he would just talk. And we would just sit there.
There'd be zero intro.
Oh, that's funny.
There'd be zero intro to that ever.
2003 Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Get clean, baby.
They beat the Oakland Raiders 48-21.
Wow.
Fuck 'em.
God, what an uninteresting ending to a season.
Yeah, 48.
That's the worst when you just like prep all year for the Super Bowl and you go there and one team just gets absolutely waxed.
Good. I hate them.
Right.
The Raiders were favored by 4.
All right, so since this is going to be a short episode, we're
sorry, there's so many things about this Super Bowl.
You're good.
Dexter Jackson, the safety for the Buccaneers, was the Super Bowl MVP.
You guys are getting a history lesson right now.
Classic Dexter Jackson.
What year was this? 2004?
Yeah, Don Shula did the coin toss.
Wow.
Jesus.
What a Super Bowl for John Gruden.
And I know the logo is just sick for the Super Bowl.
Oh, it's so good.
We've gone backwards with that.
Yeah.
We need to go forwards again.
It's so good.
I just fuck.
We're on our
Fucking AI.
We're on our devious licks.
Where was it?
Super Bowl.
I think someone said what's happened with all the Super Bowl logos getting worse, and someone said DEI higher.
That's terrible.
Oh yeah, so let's talk about tariffs. God, that's hilarious. All right, so yeah, since it's gonna be a short episode, we're not gonna kick you guys to Jackson for the Verb Energy. He's just gonna do it here live. Actually, I'm not gonna put him on the spot like that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, go shop Verb Energy. It's all in the bios of everything. Maybe flash logo here. You don't have to actually do that, but for the people that are listening, watching, yes, go check out Verb Energy. Use code ROCKSOLID to get 30% off. It helps us. It help you. The bars are great. Review coming soon from Scott. Possibly in the next 2 weeks. Stay tuned for that.
Tell him to film it. We'll put it on here.
I mean, he's gonna be here.
I'll add it to the ad.
Yeah, we'll add it to the ad too. Scott will give you the review in person when he shows up here in our makeshift studio. But yes, go shop Verb Energy bars. All types of different flavors. Anything you could possibly imagine. 30% off. Use code ROCKSOLID. 30% off. That's a great deal. Use code ROCKSOLID. All right. Now we will talk about it, because if you've listened this far, now you really want to hear our opinions. The biggest trade happened Saturday night while I was sleeping. A lot of people were awake, but a lot of people were sleeping. I sound like Donald Trump right there.
A lot of people are sleeping. I was very awake.
Yeah.
I never sleep.
I called the front office. I said, "Don't do it." Tricky Luka's going over.
Maybe the worst trade that happened in NBA history, maybe in sports history, maybe in world history, besides Brittany Griner getting traded for literally a war criminal. Luka Doncic was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers in a 3-team deal where Jalen Hood-Schifino ended up on the Utah Jazz. Just kidding. Anthony Davis gets traded to the Dallas Mavericks along with young Max Christie and 1 first-round pick. Don't even get me fucking started. For Luka Doncic, what was it, Markieff Morris and Maxi Kleber, sent to the Los Angeles Lakers.
It is pretty cool from Jalen's perspective, though. He's forever going to have his name tied to the most ridiculous, stupid trade.
It's like Case Williams being in the Nolan Arenado trade. He stamps.
Jalen Hood-Schifino literally could play one more year, and his name would be cemented in history.
Oh yeah, I would hang the Shams tweet in my house.
Oh yeah, the Shams tweet, the ESPN graphics, they'd be everywhere. They'd be in my bedroom. Like, you know, I saw a video of some guy that it was like, why do people put TVs in front of them? We just put them on their ceiling. And it's some guy watching TV in his bed, and they're like, this is why women live longer than men. That shit just falls.
The best part about that trade is Danny Ainge had just said, yeah. He's like, hey, you want Jalen Hood-Schifino?
He heard he was getting a second-round pick.
And a second-round pick, and he was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And then 30 minutes before it happens, he's like, no, wait.
All right, let me go on my rant real quick, and then you guys have the floor. I want to first of all say, going back on a stance that I had maybe 10 minutes ago, Nico Harrison is the biggest fucking idiot in sports. Not only do you trade a global icon from Dallas is considered a small market team in the NBA, not in the NFL, but in the NBA they're considered a small market team. Not only do you trade a global icon from a guy who was bought in to a small market team that was willing to stay forever. He wanted to. Like not only willing, he wanted to stay there forever in Dallas. He totally took on Dallas when he got there, made it his whole thing. You traded like a whole franchise. Like you traded a pillar. Like fans are upset. They're going to be upset about this forever. Yeah. Nico Harrison is going to be the most hated person in Dallas until they find JFK's killer. I'm just kidding. But no, he's going to be the most hated person there for that franchise's history. You can beat them in Game 7 on a buzzer beater. You can beat them 5 years in a row in the playoffs. Like one person, like say Victor Wembanyama beats them for 5 straight years in the playoffs. He hits a game winner, Game 7, to send them to the finals, Dallas at home. He will never be more hated. That person will never be more hated than Nico Harrison. Luka Doncic is not only a generational player, he's a top 3 talent in the NBA right now. He's 25 years old.
That's ridiculous.
25 years old, and you decide to ship him off 1 year after getting beat in the finals by a loaded Boston Celtics team, and you arguably got better over the summer by adding guys like Quentin Grimes, Klay Thompson. You retained Jalen Hardy, you're able to keep PJ Washington. I don't get at all where this trade comes from. And I want to make one thing also very true. I've told multiple people this. If that was Nikola Jokic, if I woke up, and no, I would have gotten woken up by Caden. He already told me this. If I woke up on Sunday morning and Nikola Jokic was traded from the Denver Nuggets to Los Angeles Lakers, this podcast would have been over. I would have retired from watching every single sport. Joey, how can you do that? Los Angeles Dodgers are all loaded up. No, pause. I would stop watching sports altogether. Like if I was a Dallas Mavericks fan right now, I would never watch a single sport again. I would hope the world blows up and Nico Harrison's first. Like it just makes zero sense to me. That's how dumb of a trade it is.
Yeah.
I get what they're trying to do. It makes their team. I don't think it makes their team better. It makes their team still serviceable. It makes them better at different aspects. It makes their defense better. Obviously, getting Anthony Davis, who I feel terrible about. I should never feel terrible for Anthony Davis. I feel terrible for Anthony Davis being in the situation that he's in. His name, he can go on and win 2 more rings with the Mavs. His name will forever just be stained because he was involved in trading their glorious Slovenian bear. That's what the guy called him.
My Slovenian bear.
But yeah, it will be something to me that unless something comes out that Nico Harrison was literally Rob Pelinka's bitch, which essentially he has been for 13, 15 years since Rob Pelinka was Kobe's agent and Nico Harrison was his Nike rep. Nico Harrison also the guy who lost out a multi-billion-dollar deal bringing Steph Curry to Nike because he pronounced his name wrong or spelled his name wrong in the presentation. This dude is a world-class fucking idiot. Yeah. I'm more mad. This guy shouldn't have a job. He should be unemployed. He should be... I won't say that. He shouldn't be here anymore on this earth. Like he's a DEI hire. We need to take him out. He needs to go away. It's ridiculous to me. And yeah, the Lakers got a guy that they can have for the next 10 years, just like that, just handed to them in their front pocket. And it's kind of a similar thing to Shohei going there. It's already a guy who has his own global audience. I think that tweet had like 500,000 likes, his welcome to LA. To put that in perspective, I think Messi's tweet when he just got to Inter Miami in the MLS had 233,000 likes compared to 500,000. That's how big Luka Doncic is, and that's how big of a star he is. The Dallas Mavericks will forever live in disdain because of this, and I honestly think they might be cursed now. The same, like you mentioned earlier, curse of Bambino, Babe Ruth trade. This will go down as the worst trade maybe ever in sports, ever, and all because Nico Harrison is literally a cuck to Rob Pelinka, and it's pitiful. I feel somewhat sympathy for the Lakers, which I hate. Like I don't feel like I feel bad for Luka that I have to hate him. Like I don't want to hate him, but now he's playing on the Lakers. I kind of have no choice. I might start liking them after LeBron leaves, but it's sad, man. It was a sad day for Dallas. It was a sad day for ethical hoops.
Sad day for America.
Sad day for basketball. Sad day for Slovenia. Sad day for America. Sad day for Dallas, Texas. Sad day for Mark Cuban.
Sad day for the world.
Yeah. Somehow Jerry Jones is the second least competent motherfucker in Dallas. Yeah. Somehow. This dude hired their offensive coordinator as the Dallas fucking Cowboys general manager and owner, and somehow he's still not stupider than this fucking dunce. Yep. You have the floor.
I'm glad you were able to get that off. It seems like you've been harboring that for a while.
I've said it to like 5 different people, but now that I get to say it out to you guys, it makes me feel a little better. Yeah. Not for Dallas though. Not for that fucking cuck.
Yeah. Ever since I remember, I think it was Morgan. He texted in our group chat and he says, I think Luka just got traded to the Lakers. And I was yelling in my car, like, what just happened? What just happened? Like, everyone will remember where they were when Luka got traded to the Lakers. Like, this was, like we've said before, the biggest trade in NBA history, I'd say. I mean, obviously, I'd have to do a little bit more research, but this has to be at least top 3. If you want me to be honest, I think the Lakers just got a whole lot better, and I think the Mavericks just got a whole lot worse. I mean, that's pretty bare bones how to cut it, but, you know, having
at least long term, especially.
Yeah, and like it's one of those things where LeBron has finally kind of gotten what he's needed, which is another superstar to take the load off of him. But yeah, no, he takes kind of like that, you know, that fatigue maybe off of him a little bit, and maybe extends LeBron's career by another year, like another year or two. Maybe now that he doesn't have to carry the whole weight of the team on his back, you might have extended LeBron's, you know, playing time.
I fucking sure hope not.
Dude, honestly, I think he might have, because the problem with LeBron is, and
Nico Harrison's a terrorist.
Yeah, he literally just extended LeBron's career, I think. But I think it's just one of those things where he finally has that guy. And I think it was like right after the Luka trade happened, LeBron announced that he wasn't going to seek any trades or anything like that. I think there's a half decent chance that LeBron would have maybe looked to go to like Golden State or something in the trade deadline before this, because he's to the point where he's still one of the best basketball players in the league and he's one of the greatest to ever play. But he is also old, and he can't really just carry the team on his back every single game. And he needs somebody who can take that weight off his shoulders. Luka is that guy who can take that weight. And I think the Lakers just got extremely better. But yeah, and I've been racking my brain ever since it happened on why they did it. I was thinking like maybe they were looking at it from a way of like, I don't know, we could keep Luka, but we wouldn't be able to keep anybody else.
Nope,
so we'd have a mediocre team.
There's zero logical way of looking at this.
But my brain was like, maybe like they were like, well, we could keep Luka, pay him all this money, and then have a mediocre team and not do too much, but have Luka, and then
at least you have a top 5
But
player
that's what I
in
was
the
saying.
NBA.
But when you're talking about Luka, you don't get rid of him. You don't get rid of a guy who's been top 3 in MVP voting for like the past 3-4 years. Like, you don't do that. Like,
he was leading the league in scoring last year.
Yeah, and it's just it's unbelievable, honestly, and especially not to get just a train load of shit for him either is kind of an issue as well. Like, what did they get? They got 2 first rounders.
They got 1 first round. That's it.
Oh,
1 first rounder and Anthony Davis
for Luke. Yeah,
and Max
Jesus
Christie.
Christ.
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack here. So let me, if I may, for a second.
Please.
Jackson said a couple things that we need to talk about. It rings a couple bells. First of all, I want to say there's absolutely zero way in hell LeBron James did not know about this trade. One, I will not believe that for a second, and 2, you're a fucking idiot if you believe that for any seconds that LeBron didn't know about this trade and he found out at dinner. Come, hold my fucking beer for a second.
Pretty much a manager.
Hold me a beer. Hold my beer for a second. There's zero way in hell that this guy who got his podcast co-host hired as his head coach, his son drafted to the team this year and got $100 million in an extension for 2 years this year, did not know about this trade. Like, let's just get that. I want to make that very known. Shams reported it. Shams is literally employed somewhat by his agency is employed somewhat by Clutch Sports. If you let's be serious here for a second. So I want to clear that up. That's just crazy to me. That's 100% false.
A well-known liar.
100% false. I do not know this for a fact, but I will tell you that is 100% false. And LeBron knew about this trade.
Knew about it.
Knew about it. A couple other things that you said. I'm trying to remember everything that you just unpacked. There was just a couple other things that I want to talk about. Oh yeah. Luka Doncic has played, I think, 5 or 6 seasons in the NBA. He has 5 first-team All-NBA since being in the league, so I'm sure it's been 6 years. 5 first-team All-NBA. You know who that's more than? Steph Curry, a Hall of Famer. He's considered the second-best point guard ever. He has 5 first-team All-NBA awards already in his career. More than Steph Curry. That's more than 95% of the NBA history, probably more. Crazy to me. He was a leading scorer in the whole league last year. Led his team to the finals. He's been in the Western Conference Finals 2 out of the 6 years he's been in the NBA with pretty terrible rosters for a couple of those years. Dirk Nowitzki was on his team one of those years, and he couldn't even walk. And he, like Luka, that's how good he's been. And he kind of the same thing as Wemby. It wasn't a. We knew he was going to be good. He kind of fast tracked it. If we're being honest, he had his name the year he got in the NBA. He won Rookie of the Year. I just don't get it. The more I say it, I just don't get it. Yeah, and then I saw a tweet that was the year after the bubble. Nikola Jokic came back to the NBA, probably 30 pounds overweight. And there's the famous picture of him at Media Day that everybody photoshops with the cigarettes in his mouth. If the Nuggets were to go back and their front office is to make a dumbheaded a move like that right now, look what you missed out on. Nikola Jokic won 3 MVPs, might win 4 this year. It's going to be a little tougher. Might win 4 this year, and won a ring and brought a first championship to Denver. Luka Doncic has been in 1/3 of every Mavericks finals that's played. They've only been in 3. He's been in one of them at 25 years old. 24 maybe last year. I don't even know. That guy said it best. Whatever that dude, the fat dude on Twitter, I forget his name, but he used to have that YouTube channel with Agent. I don't care if he is smoking crack. This dude can be smoking cigarettes 300 pounds, walking up the court, walking the ball up the court. You don't trade him.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And maybe the money, like Nico Harrison, there's two things he said. One, they didn't want to have to go into this offseason with the Supermax looming. What is your fucking job? He just admitted to not wanting to do his job.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, my long-term future, I'm looking at 3 to 4 years. They might bury me and Jason Kidd by then. First of all, Jason Kidd was looking at you like, they're not going to bury me, motherfucker. They're going to bury you. I had nothing to do with this. And he just literally admitted that he's not doing his job right publicly. Yeah. And I don't know how nobody's talking about this. His job is not to set himself up for the next 3 to 4 years because he thinks he's going to be fired, dead, or in jail, hopefully all three, by the end of these next 4 years. No, your job is to set a franchise up for the next 10, 15. That's how this works. That's how this job works.
Yeah.
God, this dude's a fucking idiot.
Forever. You're supposed to want to not retire.
Your job security. That's your job security.
Yeah. Your job is setting up.
And he's probably getting a fucking pretty penny. Yeah. And he also said today that he doesn't know if he wants to do this long term. Why are you here?
No, yeah.
And if that's the case, why is the ownership having you?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not having these discussions before you're trading away a franchise pillar? I think some guy broke it down. There's been like 12, 13 franchises in the league that have not had a better player ever in their franchise's history better than Luka Doncic.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. Charlotte Hornets, I couldn't name one. Orlando Magic, Dwight Howard wasn't better than Luka is right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Shaq.
They had a young Shaq. Yeah, that's facts. But like, there's just certain franchises who have never had a guy that is good as Luka Doncic is right now. And they just gave that up for a 31-year-old, maybe even older. I don't even know how old he is.
Pretty sure
I think he might be like 32, 33-year-old Anthony Davis, who I won't call injury prone because he played 70 games last year, which is the most since 2018 for him. And then he's been fully healthy this year until these last 2 days, which, fully healthy,
mm-hmm.
injuries. Kevin Durant went doubtful today. And I wouldn't be shocked if the second we end this, he gets traded to anywhere. But it's ridiculous. Like, I don't know. There's a couple more things that I know that are going to come back to my brain when you start talking. But, yeah, that's more of my thoughts. Anyway, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, me and Saul were talking about it earlier, and I guess I get where he's coming from. I think that I don't get where he's coming from. Don't take that like literally. I would never trade Luka Doncic in my entire life. Like you said, I don't care if he's in the locker room smoking crack. He's gonna have a crack room. He's gonna have a private room to do his crack. But like you said, Nico Harrison's just looking for now, which is fine. Anthony Davis, I think, is going to help them as much as Luka was. No, absolutely the fuck not. But he did help them for surely. But I don't know what they're doing long term. And then I think they just switched. They did two opposite things. Like Rob Pelinka did his job correctly, and Nico did it incorrectly.
Oh, Rob Pelinka just guaranteed he might be the worst GM in all. Like he might be the third worst GM in all of sports, and he just guaranteed his job for the next 10 years because Luka fell in his lap. You don't say no.
No,
if Luka Doncic is offered to you,
who says no?
He set the Lakers up for long-term success. I think the second, for when Bron leaves, that's what he set him up for. The second Bron leaves, we have literally nothing to worry about because we have Luka Doncic.
You can figure out the whole rest of the team.
Doesn't fucking
later.
matter. Nothing fucking matters. We have Luka Doncic. That's all you have to say. We have Luka Doncic. It doesn't matter. I don't care what any other team has to say. We have Luka Doncic. So fuck you. And then on the other side of it, the Mavericks just said we have to win right now. That's what he was thinking. I need to win right now. For what reason? I don't know. I mean, they were winning right now. They were in the finals, so it's about as close to winning as you can get. That is winning, but hey, it doesn't make sense. No, it'll never make sense for probably the history of the world. There's beef there. There's got to be beef there between Luka and the front office.
It has to be. And apparently they fired all of his guys. That's
what also makes me say that. Like, all the guys throughout the years that he's been close with, they kept firing. And I think I don't remember who reported it.
Or getting rid of.
Yeah, they
were
saying in hopes for him to change his ways, which that's just not a healthy relationship. That's just not how that shit works. It's not healthy. If that's like legitimately what was going on, like no, I would not. Why would I change my ways if you're just doing shit to make me mad?
Let me gaslight you and take all the people out of your life that you like, and hopefully that changes your ways.
It's like fucking prison. Like they're trying to like torture him into to like listen to me. Like that's not how it's gonna work. Especially not when I'm. Hey, guess what? Luka fucking Doncic. Like I will go play basketball wherever I want.
No, yeah.
I hope he scores.
Kills.
I hope he averages 45 points per
Yeah.
game the rest of his career against the
Mhm.
Dallas Mavericks.
Higher. I hope
Higher.
He kills.
I hope he scores. I hope he breaks Wilt Chamberlain's record of scoring 101 points.
Like February 25th.
I hope that. Yeah, February 25th.
This month.
Yes.
I hope we have a 105-point game.
Yes.
It's
I
for
hope,
Luka
I hope
Doncic.
every time he plays them, he torches them, and that is so
He
crazy
deserves
for
to.
me as a Nuggets fan saying that about the Lakers. Like, I hope for his success.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really hope for the Lakers' success. Maybe down the line, I hope he does get like 1 or 2 rings because he's a superstar. He deserves it.
Yep.
And he's like as much as he complains to the refs, he's like a likable person outside of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like rather than like Joel Embiid, who's just a bitch. I hope he torches them for years.
Yeah.
For every time they play, I hope he scores a new career high every time
No, yeah.
because they deserve it.
That GM's got to be Nico. He's got to be
He's-
mentally askew.
He needs to hire a personal security team.
I think you have to have some sort of something wrong in your brain, because here's the way I look at it is like he was like,
Are you gonna say the R word?
no, I'm not. But I think what had to have happened is that had to be an echo throughout like the entire office of like, hey, we're gonna trade Luka for AD, and he had to have had 75 people at minimum come up to him and be like, no, what are you doing? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. And he heard every single one of them and went, I'm going to do this
He
shit.
said the first time he presented it to ownership, they laughed.
Rob Pelinka
Yeah.
laughed.
Rob Pelinka
They
laughed.
said they both laughed at him.
And that's another thing that you were trying to say earlier when we talk about 1 first-round pick.
Mhm.
If you're going to trade a guy like Luka Doncic, a superstar that didn't even ask for a trade, so you don't
Yeah.
trade him. But if you are, shop him. You can
Yeah.
get 10 first-round picks for
Oh,
this
yeah.
dude.
Mhm.
You can shop. I just don't. I don't understand how you don't even shop him.
Yeah.
How do you not call the Milwaukee Bucks saying, "Give us Giannis and 2 first-rounders"?
Yeah.
Even 2 first-rounders for Giannis.
Yeah.
How do you not call How do you not even make the call to the Celtics and be like,
Mhm.
you want to get rid of one of your guys? I just don't get how you don't make the effort. If the Thunder or the Spurs got a hold of this, which God, I'm so thankful that they didn't, they would have just thrown fucking 7 first-round picks and been
Yep.
like, here you go.
Mhm.
And Luka would have been teamed up with either Shea or Wemby, which thank God again it's not the case. But
Yeah.
how much of a idiot do you have to be
Yeah.
to not even shop Luka
No,
Doncic?
yeah.
I there's so many things about this that
Mhm.
don't make sense, which is so fishy to me because usually these things make sense in my head.
Yeah.
There's nothing about this that makes sense except for somehow Rob Pelinka did the right thing. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you get a phone call saying, "Hey, do you want Luka Doncic?" You don't hang up.
Yes.
You don't question.
Mhm.
What do you want? If you're a team that you have 2 aging superstars that are not going to win you a championship anymore, there's zero question. I'm getting frustrated just talking about it. I can't
Yeah.
understand. I couldn't. If I was a Mavs fan,
No, yeah. It
Lock
would
me up.
It'd be rough.
Throw away
Throw
the
in
key.
key. But I don't know. This has to be some sort of internal collusion to bring down the Mavericks
I
organization.
think Nico Harrison's a Lakers fan.
I mean, there's a very possible chance. I don't want to do this long term. I'm gonna trade Luka for nothing. Like everything coming together.
He
it's
was
like,
Kobe's Nike rep for over 20 years.
yeah, like what are we doing here? It feels like you're just shutting it down, and then just not getting shit for him. Like any team would have given you the next 10 years in first round picks because nobody they would have drafted in those 10 years would have been as good as him.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's just one of the biggest and dumbest trades we'll probably ever see in the NBA ever again. Like, I mean, obviously you can't say never. But
No GM is doing anything
No.
close to this for the next 5 years.
No, yeah. I mean, just like the fact that, he got laughed in his face about this when he brought it to him. And it's just like, how did we get to the spot to where he still ended up going there? Like, it's just
Imagine getting laughed at by Rob Pelinka.
Uh-huh.
A knockoff Rob Lowe. He got laughed at by Rob fucking Pelinka. Like that there's an issue.
Yeah.
The best tweet I saw was like, and then it was Sean was talking about it. He's like, and that's when the Lakers had to go for an internal huddle. And then it was Owen Wilson and whatever, Vince
Vaughn.
Yeah, and they're popping the shit. It's a Lakers huddle and they're popping champagne. Yeah, literally. No, there's no huddle. It's you just run through the office screaming, "We got Luka fucking Doncic," and everyone starts partying because everyone's job's done for the day.
Yeah.
Everyone's won the
You
day.
just got one of the best players in NBA
Hey,
history.
everyone go
quarters.
home and get
He
drunk.
is better than 95% of the players in NBA history. He is 25 years old.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what people are grasping. Anthony Davis is a Hall of Famer. top 75 player of all time. He's already
still
made the
better
list.
than him.
And he's still better than him at age 25. He's an
Yeah.
NBA champion. Anthony Davis has had an amazing career, and I feel
Yeah.
bad that he's just getting the blunt of all this because he's a great player.
Yes.
Like if he got
Any
traded for
other person,
literally there's
they'd-
like 4 other people in the NBA that I'd be like, okay, that was
they'd be
stupid.
mad at the Lakers. Like the Lakers would be
Yes.
getting shit on if they traded Anthony Davis
Yes.
for
Mhm.
Like
anybody else,
Yes.
pretty much.
Like
Yeah.
there's just so many things about this trade that were wrong, and somehow Rob Pelinka was just not one of them. Which he's just been
He
wrong in
just-
every other one.
You know, he just sitting back smiling.
Oh my gosh.
chilling. I did it.
He got housed that night. He had to.
No one hates
celebration.
me. I'm being cheered by the streets of LA. I'm him.
Yeah, no, like it's there's just so much that just.
He might have Rob Pelinka Day.
He literally
Well,
just
Luka has a day named after
Well,
him in Dallas.
Had a day.
What?
Dirk Nowitzki Day now.
yeah, Pelinka literally just got himself a rebuttal free card. Like whenever anybody has a problem with him, it's like you like Luka, don't you?
Didn't
Hey, you remember LeBron James?
Didn't you make that Russell Westbrook? Didn't you make that Russell Westbrook trade that set us back for a few years? Oh, look at this guy. That's Luka Doncic.
I will say though, like first of all, when I think I was like this morning, I got out of the shower, I was getting ready, and I was listening to Pat McAfee, and they said he's only 25. I almost fell to my fucking knees because I was like, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong?
Christian turns 25 in 2 months. We better tell him he's getting shipped to LA here soon.
But yeah, that was just that shocked me to my core. I was like, he's so young, and he's as good as he is. There's gonna be a really, really bright future in LA, and I'm excited to see what he does. Like, you know, for me, I'm not like the biggest NBA guy. Like, obviously, I love the Nuggets. I love the Hawks. I like to follow both of them. But other than that, I'm, you know, kind of spaced out a little bit. So it is interesting to see this, especially at a point in time where ratings were at an all-time
Ratings
low.
are down, and suddenly a
And-
global superstar gets
Yep.
traded to the Lakers for absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
It's weird.
I don't know, I'm
It's
not
really
saying-
weird.
I'm not saying it, but I don't know. Maybe
can
some
fucking
collusion.
say
But
it.
yeah, you know what? The NBA colluded to get this trade done, and that's why this all happened.
Clip
and,
it.
and then for some reason, the Mavs are going to pick up somebody really phenomenal very shortly, probably, who's going to make their team better.
I know one thing's for sure. David Stern is rolling in his
yep,
fucking grave.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, he would have vetoed this shit before.
He would have vetoed this shit at the first cup of coffee. He would have walked up and be like, nah, you two split up.
He said, "You're going to trade Luka," and he said, I don't even work for the Mavericks." He said, "You're fired."
He said, go home.
I work for the NBA, buddy. You're fired.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, literally the only way that the Mavs salvage this is if they trade for Kevin Durant here in the next little bit.
Hour.
Yeah, unless they do that here soon, I think that's the only thing that could maybe give the Mavs something. Like, if nothing will heal this wound.
If
but
they get Kevin Durant, I mean, they already done it, but like they went from one of the youngest, like brightest looking teams looking forward to an old
the
te-
oldest.
oldest.
To the Lakers
I think they're
5
like an
years
old
ago.
team. Like I'm pretty sure they're like top 5 oldest teams now in the league.
Yeah,
And now their window went from open for the next like 10 to 12 years to probably like 4.
yeah,
And that's maybe not even that long. You're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
especially with injuries and stuff, you never know.
yeah. I mean, the only way that they save face is if they get somebody like KD to come in.
I will leave this last thought for you guys in the audience. If you find something in life that is generational, whether that's a woman, a food, a significant other, whatever, a job that you really enjoy, a hobby, something that you hold dear to your heart that's generational for you, don't fucking trade it.
Yeah,
Don't trade it for anything. I don't care if this your second favorite hobby is knocking on the door with a second round pick.
yeah.
If your first one's younger, better.
Okay, all right.
okay. Nah.
All right, Bill
Younger
Belichick.
younger than a draft pick is crazy.
You know what I mean.
Hey,
if
some
something
strong 17-year-old comes knocking on your door, don't turn him away.
Okay, I didn't mean like that. I was talking about like hobbies. Okay, I'll compare this to playing basketball for me when I was younger. Now for me it's like an afterthought playing basketball. Golfing, guess what? I found that I love golfing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade golf to go play fucking checkers.
No.
Checkers and a beer. No, I got checkers and 2 beers. No, I'll go play golf.
3 beers. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we're getting some.
I'll go play golf sober. I prefer not to, but that makes me happy too,
Yeah.
and I'd prefer to do that. That's all I'm saying. If
Mhm.
I wouldn't, there's not like a lot that I would like. I don't know. It's a perspective thing, and I don't know. If I was Nico Harrison, I would go to the Empire State Building right now and jump off. and never look back. And he's an idiot, dude. And I hope nobody fumbles their life as bad as he did. Like truly, I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. Besides Nico Harrison now, like I'm mad as a basketball fan, as a basketball purist who loves the sport. That's been my favorite sport since I've grown up. I've loved everything about the NBA, the business behind everything, and somehow my least favorite person is not someone who torched the Denver Nuggets for years. No, it's not someone who robbed Nikola Jokic of an MVP when he shouldn't have. It's somebody that didn't even affect my team. He sent this poor guy, Jalen Hood-Schifino, who probably had a great life in L.A., and he sent him to fucking Utah.
You know, he's pissed. I didn't even think about that shit, bro. Being like 21, 22, chilling in L.A. Like, he probably barely plays. Gets a couple minutes here and there.
His body's probably feeling great.
Oh, yeah, chilling, going and partying, and they're just like, yo, you like
get ready to learn
the
Mormon.
Book of Mormon? Yeah.
Get ready to learn Mormon, buddy. But, yeah, any last thoughts on this before we wrap this up?
I'm gonna hold on to a bit of optimism where there isn't really any room to grab. I'm still waiting to see what the Mavs turn this into, because I still can't sit here and think that you do something like this without some sort of plan. Like they literally go into the next season with having done nothing. I will honestly be shocked, blown away, like more than I am right now. Because I'm like I just said, I don't know how you do something this drastic without a plan of why you're doing it. Because you have to have a God tier plan, mega mind idea to be able to say we're going to trade this guy away because of this. And like I really don't know what that plan is, and I think he's going to have to pull off one of the biggest moves in history again. The opposite way.
No, he's done.
To save his face, but
he's done.
Well, good thing he's not thinking long term, because if he doesn't do that within the end of the season, probably, or like in the off season, he's done.
He should be thinking very short term, like LinkedIn profile, Indeed.
Like new jobs.
Yeah, he should really be thinking short term. Any last thoughts? Oh, yeah.
My last thought is Dallas Mavericks or Los Angeles Lakers. Nuggets in 6. Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope those two play in a playoff series like in 2 years. I hope Luka that'd be awesome. It'd be awesome for his sports.
Wouldn't it be awesome if this year it happened?
Yeah, I don't know if the Mavericks should make the playoffs this year. They've been
Why
very,
did something happen?
they were already bad, like record wise, and then they traded away Luka Doncic. Crazy.
No, that can't be real.
Real quick, huge trade news. The Chicago Cubs are no, I'm just kidding. They're acquiring right-handed reliever Ryan Brazier from the Los Angeles Dodgers. So big news to me, but no one really gives a shit. But we lose a bullpen arm, but we got Kirby Yates to fulfill in the 40-man roster. Baseball season very soon. Cannot wait to talk about it. Cannot wait to talk about basketball after the Super Bowl's done.
Yep.
But we're going to talk about the Super Bowl next week. Everybody, just enjoy your week. I mean, it's Tuesday right now. It'll be Thursday by the time you listen to this. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the weekend. Sit down on your couch with your favorite people. Order 30 wings. That's what I'm probably going to do.
Yep.
Get a 6-pack of beer. Make it 12. And just sit on your couch all
24.
day Sunday. You get to watch free football. Last football game of the year. Enjoy it, regardless of the two teams that are in there that are both from hell. Enjoy it. We get a free Kendrick Lamar concert at halftime.
We get a free Drake diss show.
Yeah, free Drake diss track at halftime. Taylor Swift will probably be there. Donald Trump will probably be there.
How many different ways do you think you can get called a pedophile in the Super Bowl?
We're about to find out.
Because I think we're gonna find some new ways to call someone a pedophile.
We're gonna find out. But yeah, Drake, don't watch the Super Bowl.
No, you can watch. Just make sure you take
Yes.
about a 30-minute break at halftime.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm very excited for the commercials, like as I always am. I don't know why they get significantly worse every year, but I'm still always like having hope. Yeah, just enjoy it. It's a huge time for sports. The weather's getting better in some places. I mean,
The sun's staying up for longer.
the sun's staying out for longer. The vibes are going back up.
Oh God.
It's almost springtime. 6 more weeks according to that stupid fucking groundhog or whatever.
Yeah, let me see that groundhog.
Phil, and he's having kids. This dude's like supposed to have like a job that provides America and the world.
Phil
And this
be
dude,
fucking,
this
dude.
dude thinks he can go fuck on his
Phil be
off time.
fucking. Phil
No.
be fucking.
This dude had kids.
Phil
Bro,
better be fucking worried about if we're gonna have a winner or not. That's
Dude,
what he
he's the
better be worried about.
LeBron James of like weather guesses.
Oh, so his son's just
I need
gonna
to see-
somehow become
Mhm.
the next groundhog.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you can see his shadow too. It's very cool. He's wearing the same number. It's awesome.
His last name is just Phil Jr. Like, it doesn't make sense.
No.
Until
let's see if he really is the LeBron James.
How much? What is this guy's record?
That's what I'm looking up.
What's his name? What's his name?
I'm not Puxatawny Phil.
Is he a DEI hire?
I don't know. But
Tariffs?
he's been around for a while.
Immigration?
Well,
I'm pretty sure his record is dog shit.
Yeah, he's wrong 70% of the time.
This dude is the Nico Harrison.
So over 10 years, he's been right about 30% of the time.
This dude
So-
sucks.
Hey,
He's a
30% of the time
hire.
he's right.
What?
Every time.
Let's just hope he's wrong again.
DEI hire. We're gonna make this a full political podcast one day. No, I'm
Yeah.
saying-
No, I mean, yeah, like his son might take over one day, but I hear that his younger son is actually like way better
yeah.
than him. So I'm interested to see.
Is he gonna
the
hire?
legacy
Is he gonna
he
hire his podcast co-host as
I
his
think
assistant?
so, yeah.
He's
the guy on
literally-
the top hat. He's gonna make him crawl out of a hole.
Is he
and
gonna
look at the
trade
ground.
away his best friend for a fledgling talent?
It could literally be LeBron's whole arc, depending on Bryce. His middle son could just be like, meh, but then Bryce comes out of the waterworks just fucking.
Technically,
hitting
if he's
shit.
won three out of 10, that's
Yeah.
3 rings. He's one more away from LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, what's
only the last
Puxatawny
10
Phil
years.
without the movie Groundhog Day, though? Honestly, like without that movie, I'm not sure that he really has the fame.
Who's
he
LeBron
has.
without Jordan?
Who's Jordan without Space Jam?
Cool. What's the what's the Kanye song?
What's Will Chamberlain without video footage?
What's a man do?
Wilt Chamberlain.
What's a king do? A god? What's a god do? A non-believer?
Oh, it's
What song is that? Kanye?
Jungle.
Yeah,
Oh my bad. Is that Ye?
it's Ye, Jay-Z, and Frank
Oh,
Ocean.
real quick. All right, before we get out of here, Ye needs to stop showing off his wife butt naked. I'm not mad about it, but what the hell are we doing? Just put
Yeah.
on some fucking clothes.
Yeah, it's
God.
ridiculous.
There's kids there.
Yeah,
that little kid's at.
A little kid was peeking around the corner.
I haven't brushed up on my law in a while, but I'm pretty sure that's against the law.
Oh, I can tell you 100%.
As a 23-year-old, red-blooded American male, I'm okay with it. There's others that aren't going to be okay with this, and I think it is against the law. So we
Yeah,
should probably just let's put on some clothes.
I think somebody was like,
Just cover the nips.
But Ye's back though.
yeah,
He's back on Twitter.
Mhm.
We got Ye and Donald Trump back on Twitter. Is this 2020 again? Oh God.
Oh God.
All right. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. All right. All right. Yeah, everybody enjoy their week. Enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll be back to talk about it next week. Special guest on the show in 2 weeks. Scott. Everybody kind of already knows who it is, but Scott on the show in 2 weeks. I think 15th, something around there, around Valentine's Day.
Saturday.
Yeah, a couple Saturdays from now. But yes, enjoy your week. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Go shop Revengy. Go shop Slove. Go follow. Go share. This was actually a pretty fun episode, even though this was kind of, we really had nothing planned. It was just talk about trades
longer
and
than last
tariffs.
Yeah,
and immigration.
Mean, that's kind of how it was when we first started too, because we didn't have football, and I feel like when we talk about football, we know a lot about it, so we really
Points are
break
driven.
down points, like everything's very strict. As we get into basketball, baseball season, in golf season, it gets very much so off the rails a little bit because it's just more fun to talk about at times. So
Yeah.
Also, we haven't even talked about this, but going to be a really fun thing that drops in March, and I'm very excited. Or maybe the first week of April that we're going to record in March. So, yeah, I hope everybody has a good weekend. Go tell somebody you love and you may just make their day. Peace.
Peace.